insurance through USA Football. And so what we're going to do today is go over the safety stuff, and then after today, you guys are going to go through an online portion of the training. And I know that can get long, and there's some feedback that not everyone necessarily likes that you have to do it every year, but it is something you have to do. It's for the safety of the kids, so we have to do that. So what we're going to go over today...
So if it's 24 frames per second, it's 480. I was trying to fix the camera.
So what we're going to go over today is heads-up football, what it is, how it works, concussion recognition and response, sudden cardiac arrest, heat illness, equipment fitting, and then I'm going to show a video about the new USA Football shoulder tackling. And you guys will learn more about that on the online portion of the training that you guys will do too. And then after I'm done talking, there will be pizza and pop, and Brady brought cookies. So, I cannot control the temperature in the room, so I apologize in advance if it's a little warm. I give you a nice folder, so you can feel free to church fan yourself or whatever. So, I'm Maggie. I'm the president and the safety coordinator for the association. A lot of you are familiar. Some of you are probably newer intro coaches. Liz is the secretary for our association, so she's here today helping me. Brady is the vice president and also a 4th grade coach. Ray is here. He's the 5th and 6th grade director. Jason is here. He's the intro director. And he's my husband, so I can give him a really hard time. So hopefully you guys, and John is here, and he is the 4th grade director. I don't. And yeah, so there are some board members that are not here yet or not able to be here today. So we're glad you guys are here. In the folders there is contact information for all the board members. So if you do have questions about your age level, safety questions, any kind of different questions, there's all sorts of different contact information there for everybody on the board. Also in the folder, I'll just go over this quick. I put a copy of the coach's code of conduct. That's something everybody did sign when they did the online application. But if you're like me, you might want a printed copy. It's a little easier to read and not just click through. So I'd ask that you guys all take time to review it. It's very important, and there's 17 things on there to keep in mind. Also in the folder, I have a copy of the high school league rules related to concussion and dealing with an athlete who has had a concussion or has one. So that's in there for a little bit of guidance. And then also the Big Lake Schools form that you use to report the head injury. That's something I have to track for USA Football. So, and we'll go over that a little bit more, but if you do have a concussion happen on your team, there is a protocol that we have to go through. So I would be the person you want to talk to. So that's in there for your reference also. There is a copy. This is a practice planner. You can actually do this when you go online onto USA Football. You can go online and actually do this all online and then print it out or share it with amongst your coaches. And it's a good thing to do if you can, because it helps you when you're going through practices know who is doing what, make sure you're getting the necessary water breaks and rest breaks for the kids, and that you're covering kind of everything you want to cover during a practice. It helps. So that's something you can do online. You can print it, share it, however you want to work it, but it is a really good tool that I would encourage all of you to use this season. And the other piece is, this is the book of youth plays. Coach Keenan, the Big Lake varsity coach, has obviously the playbook that they use for the high school teams, and they were really gracious and nice and converted their playbook into a youth playbook. Ultimately, the goal of association football is to move the kids up and go to school ball so that it is a successful program, they have great seasons, and that they go up. And we hand off to Coach Keenan and all of the middle and high school level coaches. We hand them off with as much knowledge as we can. So he converted the playbook to youth plays that'll be a little easier for our grades. So he will be here at 3 o'clock to talk to everybody as well a little bit, just kind of about his view on football, association, school ball, and answer any questions any of you might have. But I would encourage you, it's not a requirement that you incorporate this into your season or any of your plays, but I would encourage you, even if you take 1 or 2 of these, to kind of see how they work and integrate them into your team and your season if you can. It took them maybe not a lot of time, but I don't know how much time I guess to take to do it, but it was really nice that they did this, and so I would definitely take advantage of this. And the more the kids learn some of these plays now, they're going to go to middle school and high school ball and be even more ahead of the game, because they're going to know some of the types of plays that they might be using at that level. And then the other piece, this is the yellow sheet. You don't need this right now. You'll need this after today. It goes over the steps for creating a USA football account, how you want to do it. You'll have to do the online training, but you won't have, there's no payment that you guys have to handle. That's all handled through us. So when you go on and you associate your account with Big League Football, then it zeroes out automatically. You don't need a code or anything. It'll automatically update that. And so if you have any questions or issues when you do set up your account after today, you can let me know, and I'd be more than happy to get you guys set up and squared away. So, now I'm going to start. All right, so what is Heads Up Football? Heads Up Football, in May, I went to a training at the National Sports
The
Center.
run plays are good, we just need more pass plays. I like that pass at the end though.
Oh,
It's a really good.
that's my fault.
It's blinking red, so I think it means it's going. I don't know. It's still going.
All right. All right. So, sorry, we're video recording. So just like you guys are here today, as a part of USA Football, I had to be trained in as the player safety coach. And so in May, I went to the National Sports Center in Blaine and was trained. I think there were 15 or 20 other coaches or association representatives. Each association that wants to be USA Football Heads Up certified needs to have a player safety coach who goes to the training and is trained by a master trainer who works with and for USA Football and knows kind of all the ins and outs of the shoulder tackling, the safety pieces, all of those pieces. So I went and did that in May, so just like you guys are here today, that is something I had to do as well. So USA Football is the sport's national governing body with a focus, and it has a focus on development of youth, middle school and high school kids, and kind of making sure that their main focus is safety. A lot that was really stressed at the training was safety. You want the kids to be safe, you want the coaches to be safe. You obviously want a really positive experience for the kids, but ultimately you need to make sure that it is in a safe and positive way. You don't want kids getting hurt and getting burnt out. You want them each season to get better and be safer so that the next year they're even more excited for football. So Heads Up Football does work with a lot of different organizations. They do work with the NFL. Some of the shoulder tackling that we're doing today is coming from, it was a combination of USA Football, Pete Carroll and the Seahawks, and some of the rugby association. They all kind of got together and went over the different tackling techniques that they use and came up with what they think is a really safe way for football players to tackle. So, and that is covered more in depth in the online training, and then also at the end today, there's about a 15-minute video. It'll just go over kind of the basics of shoulder tackling, and then you we'll learn more about it online. And if you do have any questions about it, I'm more than happy to answer. I know our directors are good resources. Otherwise, USA Football has a lot of really good resources online that you can access as well. So part of why we work with USA Football, there's a lot of different components. Wanting coaches and parents and association people to be aware of concussion recognition and response, heat preparedness and hydration, sudden cardiac arrest, and then making sure the equipment is fitted correctly, and then, as I said, the shoulder tackling and blocking, making sure that the players are safe and as safe as possible when they're doing that on the field. We can't control what other teams are taught or how they tackle, but we can try to get our kids to be as safe as possible when they're making and taking hits on the field. So USA Football, Heads Up Football is the most comprehensive safety program in the sport, and it covers more than what is required. We are not required by the state or the league that we're in to be Heads Up certified with USA Football. That's something as an association that was decided and voted on because we felt it was really important to make sure the safety of the kids was priority, and we thought this was something that was beneficial and useful to coaches and ultimately to parents and players so that they are able to stay healthy and safe for longer. And so this is something that it is a lot, I know, to kind of take in the information and to have to go through another training and an online piece, but it is really important, so I really do appreciate you guys making the time to be here today, especially when there's funnel cake and rides like less than a mile away. I would love to be on the tilt-a-whirl as well, but so it's something that we can show our community and the parents in our league of our players that we're going above and beyond what is necessary for our kids because we do value their experience and their safety. So kind of what I said, how it works is you have a player safety coach who is me, the safety coordinator. I went to the training in Blaine. It was a one-day training. I went and got trained. We had on the field tackling drills, and we had in the classroom kind of training as well. And then kind of this piece today, and then the online piece, it's the coaches clinic, which is where we are today, going over all of the information. And then certifying you guys on, that's the online piece. You guys will go through, there's several videos, and then there are quizzes or tests that you have to go through, and you have to successfully go through them to become certified. But don't panic, because you can kind of go through it. If it takes you a few times to kind of get the answers, that's fine. It'll go through it and it'll walk you through all of it. And so then another piece is educating our parents and our players. There's different components that you'll want to go over, obviously the tackling stuff, some of the safety stuff for kids, and then also letting your parents know. One thing that we talked about at the training was coming up with an action plan. So when we talk about some of the heat illnesses, hydration, stuff like that, it's important for each team to have kind of a plan of what you're going to do. If you have, I know a couple years ago we had a kid who, his arm, I don't even know what kind of break it was, but it was horrible. And we had a kind of plan of, okay, these are the parents that are going to sit with them, these are the parents that are going to go get the mom, call the ambulance. And so that's important, whether, and knowing on your team if there's a parent who's a nurse or doctor, being aware of that, asking if they will be a resource, if you need kind of on-the-spot care if they're there. Because the more prepared you are, hopefully you never have to use it, but the more prepared you are, the greater the likelihood is that you'll have a positive outcome for the kid. And so then during the season, part of what the player safety coach has to do as well is go around to all of the different practices and monitor to make sure you guys are doing the heat acclimatization, whatever that word is, so that you're doing that appropriately at the beginning of the season, making sure you are using the correct tackling techniques with your team, and just that you're kind of doing what we're learning today and what you're learning online, that you guys are implementing that on the field. So I will be kind of going around during the season, so if I'm out of practice, don't panic. And if you have, like I said, if you have questions, let me know. Also, one thing, and so then, because you guys will all be certified, that allows us as an association to get our player insurance through USA Football. So, and we get we're able to provide more insurance and get a better rate, and because we're showing them that we are ultimately a safer association. And one thing that's really cool this year also is that Coach Keenan and all of the middle school and high school coaches will also be USA Football certified. They've asked that they've asked if I would train them, so they will all be certified as well this year, and they will have to go through the same kind of training you guys are, do the online piece. There is there's another piece for them that's a high school component that's a little bit different. This is more focused on youth level, but the high school will also have their components, and I don't know for sure, but I think there's only like 2 or 3 associations in all of Minnesota that have everybody K through 12, all of their coaches certified through Rise Up Football. So it's pretty cool that small town Big Lake will be one of those handful that has everybody K through 12 all certified. So the first part is concussions. It's something that is very important. A few different things. A concussion is a brain injury that changes the way your brain normally works. Something that can cause it is if you get a bump or a blow or kind of jolted, kind of a blunt force to the head usually, or if you have to wrap your neck back rapidly, kind of back and forth, something that's a sudden jerk or a blow to the head. Concussions are very serious. A lot of times you have players who are like, they may get a concussion and not realize it, or because you don't have to be knocked out to get a concussion. I think that's one kind of false assumption, is that you have to totally black out to get a concussion, and that's not true. You can be fully wide awake and never lose consciousness and still have incurred a concussion. So it's important for kids. They don't always know if they have maybe gotten a concussion. They may be like, oh, I'm fine, and I want to go back out there, and oh, this is my position in my play, so I want to go back out. So that's why it's really important as coaches that you are aware of the signs and symptoms of concussions, because ultimately you guys are the ones who are going to have to make the call on the sidelines and say you're out for the game. And that's not a fun thing to do. I had to do it last year for one of our kids at a